thank you all for coming out. Obviously, our kids are looking forward to going to Dallas and playing SMU. I've been a little bit probably more familiar with SMU than some people, I guess, because we've played them every year for the last couple of years when I was at TCU. June's done an unbelievable job there. Defensively, they don't get enough credit. They've really been good up front the last couple of years, and done a great job rushing the passer and still covering down in the back end. And then obviously everybody knows about Coach Jones and his background in the run and shoot and throwing the football all around. We've got some pretty special wide receivers, and then big Zach Line, the running back they've got, is a pretty exceptional football player. So we'll have to do a great job on both sides of the ball and special teams to give ourselves another chance. Hopefully we can build on the performance last week. Our kids came out and really competed on both sides of the ball. And we obviously made our share of mistakes, but I think it's pretty plain to see we're getting better every week. That being said, you all have any questions?
I know afterwards Coach O'Leary had said that he didn't think there was another team in this country that had improved as much as you guys had. Would you agree with that?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen everybody else. I just know from an accountability level, from a discipline level, you look about our guys playing with emotion and intensity. I know as a program we have improved. I do know that for a fact. I see it every day. I know as individuals we've gotten better. We've got kids that are better. They're better workers, they're better kids, they're more dedicated now. So that's always encouraging. I appreciate the kind words from Coach O'Leary. I don't know. It's hard when you're in the middle of it to compare yourself to anybody else right now. But we have a long way to go, but it's an everyday thing for us. We just got to keep taking it one day at a time.
Coach, the last couple of weeks I've heard you talk about accountability and how it's been improved. Is that something that you've noticed more throughout the week or on Saturdays in particular?
Well, I think it's just throughout the week. Without getting too far back into the background, when we first took over, we kind of laid out the four principles of the program, and one of them was individual accountability. And we really tried to focus on being accountable to one another. And I felt like that was maybe the largest gap that we had to make up with other good programs. And we're still working on that every day, but I felt like just our accountability level to each other, to the program, to the university, to the community, wasn't where it needed to be. So we've seen that steadily incline, and the more invested you become, the harder you work at something, the easier it is to be accountable for the results. And that's, sort of the workman's-like philosophy that we've taken. Is, let's work so hard that we don't have any other choice but to be accountable to each other. So it's just one of those deals that we've seen, guys continue to buy into what we're what we're asking them to do, and become more accountable to each other.
You see a team come up with 9 interceptions. That doesn't happen every single day. Is that more of Houston just making some bad throws, some mistakes, or a lot to credit to what?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. Houston ran through a few quarterbacks in that game, and they did a good job putting pressure on the quarterback. They're very good up front. And, pressure does strange things to quarterbacks. They can, makes them go blind. It makes them use poor judgment. That's just the way it is. And so they threw some balls right to them, and SMU did a great job, both pressuring and covering down, and some balls got batted up in the air. And yeah, that's a lot to have in one game. I can tell you that much.
Talk about their quarterback. He's obviously been.
Yeah, highly recruited kid, unbelievable high school program, like Travis. has all the tools that you would want. Great pedigree. His little brother is a true freshman at TCU, tight end. We recruited when I was there. Well documented, went to University of Texas and left and has come to SMU. And I think when you look at him, he's just continues to get better in that offense. He obviously has a lot of tools. He's a highly intelligent kid. He's just an awfully good football player, and has been for some time.
Going into your former home territory, does that put any additional pressure on you?
Oh no, we're Memphians now, so I'm excited to take this squad down there and go to Dallas. So most of the people I know in that city will be gone when we get there anyway. They'll be in Stillwater. So now we just go get ready to go play.
When you look at the mistakes this last week, the couple of the turnovers and that sort of thing, is that the kind of thing that keeps you up late at night and gives you a few extra gray hairs, just trying to figure out what you've got to do to get that?
Yeah, it drives you nuts because, and it kind of goes back to the first thing we talked about, or what we just talked about a couple minutes ago, is being accountable all the time. And, it's got to mean more to you to hold on to the ball. And we've got to make it harder to put it on the ground. And so, yeah, it is, because you've got a group of guys that are trying and fighting tooth and nail for every inch they can get out there. And then when they do get a few inches, or the defense prevents them from getting yards or first downs, and then to hand it back over to them it's not what, and the guys will always make fun of me for saying this, but it's not what good programs do. I say it all the time. When we're building a program, this is what these are the things that good programs do. And so my short answer to your question is absolutely, that is the sort of thing that keeps you up at night and adds many gray hairs to what used to be a blackhead. But, it's something we got to get fixed, and we will.
Does it spiral? I mean, because when teams look at you, when they scout you guys, do they see you as a team that has turnover troubles? Does it?
Well, I'm sure they probably do. I'm sure they probably, everybody looks at that kind of stuff. But you can control those things, and, there are some that you can't control. I mean, the guy's there, ball gets batted, so on and so forth. Sometimes there really are just breaks. But, when you've got possession of the football, you need to get up with the ball. And we just have got to do it. And some of it is from a physical development standpoint. We've got to continue to get stronger. We're playing against guys that are stronger than we are. And that helps. And then some of it is a toughness. Some of it is a discipline issue. So I think it's all the sorts of things kind of combined together that lead to it.
Obviously, the ground game was really working the other night, but would you like to be able to get the ball down the field a little bit more with Jacobs?
Yes. They did a great job playing over the top, I thought. Even after looking at the film, they really did a good job staying deep. And but yeah, you would like, when you run the ball like that, you'd like to produce a few more big plays in the passing game in order to put some more points on the board.
How do you accomplish that?
Well, first of all, if they're going to play like they played last week, you've got to be patient. You can't put a square peg in a round hole. And if they're going to continue to play deep and stay back, then you've got to continue to take it and take it and take it. And, that's the first thing. And then the second thing is, you've got to find a way to make them come up, and then you have a better chance of getting behind. Good? Thank you all.